Welcome back to the Brew Crew Podcast, everyone. This is episode 256.
256!
Oh, I got it. I always get it. I'm never wrong.
Never.
On the number. I could just exclude the number from now on, but I figured we've gone this long. Why do that? Why change now?
I would learn how to edit. My OCD would take
Yeah, because it needs to be in every episode.
Right.
Yeah. Well, 256. Here we are. Church Room Bar. Thanksgiving has just passed. We did a little pre-production, but not really about the show. But I felt, even though I didn't watch football every day, the availability of it every day was kind of nice.
Games were intriguing. It helped that I did well in FanDuel, at least, because I was involved with that. I really enjoy sitting there and watching football with my father-in-law, because my father-in-law is such a athletic pessimist. Everything is the worst thing ever.
Oh, yeah, I love those types, yeah. And I'm somewhat like that a lot of the time.
But it's such the opposite of me. Like, I'm like, oh, crap, there's always time.
They'll find a way.
They're down by, and like crazy, like we're watching as we're culminating. I don't know for you, but for me, yesterday felt like 2 days in length. It was excellent. Usually Sunday, especially on the back end of an awesome weekend, speeds by.
Yeah, usually.
This one went by extremely slow. I think I got 2 naps in.
Mine went fast.
It was delightful.
Mine went too fast.
I made a pickle roast.
A pickle roast?
Yeah, so I took chuck roast and I emptied a jar of pickles and the pickle juice and everything like that, and that was it.
Oh, excellent.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Rave reviews.
Rave reviews.
That's
good to know.
Gotta like pickles.
Have you seen there's a new pickleball place on 75, off 75?
No.
Yeah,
I never get down that way.
I can't remember what it's called. Pickle something. And I was driving by it, and it's like a big barn-looking thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what used to be there, but this is a new place. And I thought it was a pickle place for pickles, like to eat pickles and pickle-related foods.
Pickle-related foods.
Like pickle roast.
Pickle roast, yeah.
But it is a pickleball location. Now, we went to Topgolf this weekend on Black Friday.
Was it busy?
It was busy. The wait time was like 2 hours. Luckily, I went into the app and paid the extra $5 or whatever it is to go to the head of the line. So if you reserve, like a day early, that I don't know why they do it like this. It's not a reservation.
Yeah,
you're basically applying to go to the head of the line at a certain time. So my time was 6:15.
Okay.
And then when I got there, I checked in, and boom, next bay was mine. Next bay open was mine. So it's not a reservation.
Do you have your because they have their Lifetime Heroes membership?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so
what is that?
Do you have your card?
Yeah, I have a card.
Yeah,
they don't use those anymore.
Oh, they don't use them. It's been a couple of times since I've been there, but you get a permanent discount or whatever for your veteran status.
Oh, I didn't know that shit. I had to get that. I do have the Lifetime membership.
It only costs you $3. Now he's going to be really upset about it. It's only $3, and they pay for you to drink.
Oh, the Lifetime membership's only $5.
Yeah, but so they pay for you. They pay for you to drink.
They pay for you to drink?
Oh yeah, I've never spent a dime there drinking.
That's impossible.
Copious amounts of booze.
That's impossible. Their alcohol's not cheap.
No, nothing. I mean, nothing is cheap. And people, this was a conversation. I do have a couple of beer news things I want to get into. A conversation that has erupted multiple states away, even locally. What do you expect if you're going to go to an upscale burger place? Okay, I'm priming the pump a little bit. Not like Applebee's or something like that, but like you're going to go to like what are you expecting to pay for a burger?
What am I expecting to pay for a burger at an upscale burger?
Yeah, like a place that, back home we have a couple of things. The names wouldn't matter to you, but I am shocked because I've never, and my wife and I, Stacy, have had this conversation many times. Like for her to go, she likes going to Five Guys. For her going to Five Guys, just for like one person is like $22, $24.
Five Guys is insanely expensive.
For what it is, right?
It's just too much.
It's fast casual.
Yeah, it's fast casual. I don't really even think it's casual. It's just fast food, minus not having a drive-through.
Yeah,
I guess. I would say Five Guys is the exception to the rule. I think that they.
This is a bad. There's just a couple of kitschy places.
It's a good thing that you. So there's two things you said that sparked. One, Five Guys to me took advantage of the Chipotle model, which was charge a premium price for something, and it'll be thought of in a different light. Like, like they think they're not Wendy's because their prices are more expensive. And people think they're not Wendy's because of the same reason.
That's like Peloton.
But they are Wendy's. Let's be honest.
Peloton years and years and years ago was struggling. The only thing that they did was they added $1,000 and they made it into a luxury item. That's the only thing they changed.
It makes exact sense. I just saw my kids watch Family Guy like on random shuffle.
Yeah.
And the episode about Peloton came out. It just nailed it. It just nails it. It's awesome.
So I'll spoil it here. So a few friends went back, multiple different burger places across, and they were paying $16 to $18 for a burger. Just the burger, not fries, not the accoutrement or anything like that, not a drink, nothing. $16 to $18 for a burger.
So you did say something else that I wanted to point out, which is places where the name won't matter to you. So at a place where the name won't matter to me, those are the burger places you want to go to.
Yep, right. Not
including Illinois, Ohio, Wisconsin, wherever you are. If the burger place has a name that won't matter, that's where you want to go. I think $14.99. But the thing is, you're saying now just for the burger.
Just burger,
I
no
hadn't
fries.
really put that much thought into that. But like we had this place in Brookfield, Illinois, that was on diners, drive-ins, and dives.
Yeah, Triple D,
and it was awesome.
Yeah,
and I would have paid more than I paid for that burger because of how good it was. And they were like smashing burgers before Smash Burger. This was a big deal back then. Restaurants, sit-down restaurants. I don't really know. Let's just say $14.99 is my premium burger price.
That's like the top of what, and it's crazy. Has it just like time, because we were talking about Christmas gifts and stuff like that. I think food costs are just at that point now where going to Taco Bell, you can no longer. You can, like, if you beefy melts or something. Bean. I like bean burritos, so it works out. For kids. $1. So I don't want. We're not old men yelling at clouds. It feels like it happened overnight.
Well, inflation sparked it.
Yeah,
and that was a real thing. But I think that no matter what happens with inflation, I don't think those prices are coming down.
No.
It's not going to be like gas. I think there should be some regulation just like gas where, like, they could have kept the gas at $4 after 2008. They just chose not to.
Right.
I think they should do the same thing with food. You got to lower those prices. But they're not going to. Why would they? They're going to make money off that.
We're at the point, and I think I can speak for you too. We have two different financial outlooks with just how we are with things, and that's not being rude. That's just years of observation. So I'm at the point now where I don't look at, and I'm not trying to be hoity-toity. I don't look at that. I don't do it enough anymore where it's more the experience. Mm-hmm. It's like doing bottle shares and stuff like that. I want people to feel like they're participating equally, but it's not. It'll never be a 1-for-1. You can't get into those wars with people.
Right.
So, like this last weekend, we went out to a couple of brand new bars. I'd never been to Red Star. Have you been to Red Star?
Mm-hmm. I have been to Red Star.
Really neat.
Interesting place.
Really neat, especially since they've cleaned it up. Maybe, how long has it been since you've been there?
I know both versions of Red Star.
Yeah, so I didn't go there for the first version.
Okay.
And then we went up and caught up with like Chuggalo Aaron and Karina and they're like, the previous version was way different. It wasn't as well received or embraced.
Yeah.
Nice thing about this bar, and we bring it up all the time on this podcast, no kids, period, dot. No one under the age of 21.
Yeah, and I wouldn't bring kids in there. I mean, that would be...
Which is awesome. We had the run of the place. Granted, we were there super early.
Yeah.
So we were able to talk to the bartender and the general manager, and they called the cops on a family that came in, and they were pleasant, asked the lady and she goes, I don't understand why and this lady's pushing a stroller, and she goes, calmly, I need you to leave. And she's like, what are you going to call they called the cops. And then the cops, and they advertise. Like, it's not hidden that it's at 21 and over. And they say the only time besides that incident that it comes in is with, like, the UD college kids. Like, you're 21, I'm 20 or whatever, and I'm going in there, whatever. Because, again, they ID, even if you're just getting water or you're going to be the DD for the night or something like that. Hard line.
Yeah, they ID everybody.
Refreshing to hear.
Yeah, that's good. Advertise it. I think that's fair. You can also advertise it if you do allow kids. just to let everyone know who don't want kids around that there could be kids in there. But yeah, Red Star, it's interesting because they Red Star. I mean, if you think about the name, it was a very Russian-centric, kind of Soviet-centric style, but it was kitschy in a non-offensive way.
Yeah, pictures of Stalin up everywhere.
It was vodka. It's a vodka bar, much like a whiskey bar would probably have. Tennessee and Scotland, pretty much everywhere, right? Or Kentucky, bourbon, whatever they have. But this is Russia. This was Russia / Soviet states, what they're calling
FSU?
now, Eastern Europe. So yeah, former Soviet states. That's good. But yeah, they changed it now to a rock and roll bar.
Yeah, so it was neat. First time we'd been there. Cool drink selection. The beer selection wasn't. But again, I'm not going there. I'm not offended by that. It was awesome to get out and explore a little bit. Obviously, we hung out with Sarah and Matt at the Barrel House for quite a bit, and because it was shop small Saturday.
Oh yeah,
that's what we wanted to do.
Smart.
They still don't have their hoodies in, or they have medium and triple XLs.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I mean, I like
the
my
big
hoodies.
sellers.
Yeah. I see what you did there. But anyways, in fun beer related news, Wisconsin Quick Trip voted the #1 gas station in 2022. The 2023 results are not out. Just had a promo for 50 cents off a gallon of gas. All you had to do was
50 cents off.
Buy 2 racks of Busch Light, and you got 50 cents off a gallon.
Easy.
Right?
Easy. I'll do it all day.
And it's hotcakes.
I've been to Quick Trip now, I believe, but I have to say that I can't remember the names of these fucking gas stations. What's the one with the beaver?
Oh, Buc-ee's.
Buc-ee's. Damn, dude, that place is the shit.
Still haven't been there.
That place is the shit.
The groundbreaking has happened. I think a lot of the legal battles and holds are off. And then the final news, because JT's on.
No, keep going. I'm not even going to do this.
This is fantastic. We want to warmly welcome subscriber number 96.
Holy shit!
It was coming 96. Into last week. I totally forgot about it. So
welcome. Well, you're about to get a lot of content.
Yeah, lot. I mean, it's just gonna be raining alerts.
Yes.
All over your face.
The Advent season is upon us. Before we jump into the beer for the week, Advent's upon us. If you're an Advent calendar participant, make those videos. And if you don't have access to our channel, send us the videos. Open a Dropbox or something. And we'll load them up. You can do videos. This is a welcome time for all the Chuggalos to do videos. You can say what you want as long as it's not offensive to any type of people.
We've lost videos doing that, but it's still fun making the content.
We've lost videos doing offensive content?
We've lost videos from things that just will never see the light of day.
Yeah, that
I feel like
sense.
we can say that.
We wouldn't even load it into the YouTube channel for a draft.
But it was still fun because we reminisce on them fondly.
Yeah, so get that beer out and start doing Advent stuff. It's going to be great. All right, let's get into the beer. We can keep talking about all this stuff. I like the burger conversation. This is Bamboo Torture by, and it's very small on here, Nightmare Brewing Company. In Great South Bay Brewing. It's a collaboration from New York, Bayshore, New York.
Bayshore?
Okay. I bought this beer because of its uniqueness.
Oh, I didn't even see what it was.
I'll tell you in a second. You ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Perfect crack.
I got some feedback on your Cinderlands.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. People were excited to see all the way. Also, people aren't getting notified. Multiple people have told me that they're not getting notifications on the videos. Usually,
I will check that.
No,
there's a checkbox you can check to make sure.
In YouTube,
mm-hmm.
I thought
it might. So I set all the defaults like a year ago. It's possible that the notification thing is a newer box, and because it wasn't defaulted a year ago, maybe it's not defaulting now.
So I went through a couple people's computers and settings and helping them or whatever, and sure enough, later, like 3 or 4 days, it populates. Where normally we were getting heavy in the first 24 to 48 hours. Now they're matriculating in throughout the week a little bit more.
All right. So Bamboo Torture is an India Pale Ale with bamboo shoots, toasted rice, and dry hopped with Akoya and dragon hops. I thought that was a combination of things that we had not had on this podcast. And the can art certainly helped me find the beer. And then I had 4 beers in the cart or the basket, and to decide between them, this one obviously had some uniqueness to it that I had to have. 9.6 IPA. That's what we're looking at here. And it does say on there, re-fucking cycle, okay? It says that, literally with the fucking in between. So, do that, according to them. Nightmare Brewing.
This has got a chew to it.
Yeah, this has some chew to it. This has some flavor. 9.6 is pretty high for a standard IPA. I mean, when you don't see like a D or a T in front of it, it's like, wow, they really went all out. So, just a standard IPA with bamboo shoots. Bamboo shoots. Have you had bamboo shoots?
Yes.
So it's like a real China buffet kind of thing.
Not prepared, but you can definitely fuck them up. Like you can get them like where they're super woody. Or
I've
whatever.
not had them prepared by anyone other than a Chinese restaurant.
You haven't gone to
they're basically like boiled and then sauced.
Yeah, you haven't gone to like a Colombian restaurant and they had bamboo shoots there and you're like, fuck this place.
No, every Colombian place I've been to, I get arepas and they're amazing. And the sauce and the rice, mix it together. I don't know if you're supposed to. That's the thing about ethnic places is I'm never sure if you're supposed to mix those things together. Like I feel like when I go to Indian places, the curry should be mixed with the rice that they give you. But then you see native Indians eating that, and they're eating the rice plain. And I'm like, should I mimic them, or should I just be rude and mix it all together? Because I like my rice with a little curry sauce on it.
I'm a mixer.
I'm a mixer too.
That's why I'm so terrible with leftovers, because I'll just mix everything
mix
together.
Mix it all together. Just like Willy Wonka said, mix it all together. Makes the world go round. Isn't that the lyric?
Nailed it.
Gene Wilder.
This is...
Is he still alive? Or he died recently, right? A couple years? Or is he still alive?
COVID fucked up a lot of things. I think he died during COVID.
Yeah, I think you're right. I remember thinking he was dead a long time ago, and then realizing he was still alive.
Well, he had some...
Just not doing movies.
He had a malady of some sort.
Yeah. I think dementia or something.
I'm going to say June of 2020.
Wow, let's see.
August of 2016.
Oh, shit.
So not even.
Damn, that's a long time ago.
Born in Milwaukee.
Wow. What is he now?
What a fucking winner.
What a winner.
Gosh, I have so much to say and everything is escaping me. So because I looked it up, you said Nightmare Brewing. I just had to go really quick and get it for posterity's sake on my tablet here. Mm-hmm. The interesting thing, it goes into like the history of bamboo torture and how bamboo grows so fast, and that's why they would put bamboo shoots underneath fingernails.
Okay.
And that was part of.
So they would just place them there.
Yeah, because
they would grow into
because it grows so fast.
I thought they were using them as like some sort of like chisel.
No, there's some species of bamboo that grow, multiple inches a day. Damn. It's almost like a kudzu, except it's just, but it's very durable. A lot of ancient Japan was built out of bamboo. Sorry, Stacy.
Yeah, yeah,
because it has flex to it. That's where there's other parts in the world that are built like primarily out of stucco or masonry. Mm-hmm. There's no flex to that. Yeah. So that's why, an earthquake comes devastating, but you use wood or strap-ons or whatever like that, or crimp-ons for California, or bamboo for Japan, and that stuff has lasted the test of time.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Structural engineering. That was your structural engineering segment.
Right?
By Matt.
This is...
Gotta get a theme song for that.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to be running out of... I can do multiple pages on this. This is... Man, this is one of those. I'm gonna go into my thoughts if you're okay with that.
Yeah, please go into your thoughts.
Okay, so the first drink was like, wow, this is quite different. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you described to us what you did with your brewing or your purchasing process, because I'm not looking at ingredients. If the label doesn't catch me and the style doesn't catch me, and IPAs, it's interesting because, like you say, you have to go a little more hop detail on it because it's such the details on the hops. This first drink, I was in love with it. the more and more I drink it, the less and less I'm falling out of love with it. I'm not to the point where I'm waking up the next day and I'm chewing my arm off so I don't wake up my partner next to me. Years ago, never my wife.
Chewing
years ago.
your arms.
Yeah, the way they call it, the wolf. To give up your own appendage, just so you can like sneak out of there and do the walk of shame.
Oh right, yeah, okay, like Saw.
Yeah, or like Saw.
So yeah, there's just a side note. There's a Saw ranking thing going around, ranking all the Saws.
Yeah, like S tier.
S tier and below.
I was craving this like a couple days ago because I just watched Saw X.
So Saw 1 was in A, not S. I thought 1 was S tier because of its concepts, but no, they didn't have that there. I can't remember which ones they had in S tier because I was so focused on 1 and 2 were in A.
So I'm wondering if the argument is they wore out their shtick or their welcome or whatever and got redundant. 2,
I'll say this. So I might have said this before, way early in the podcast. Saw 2 is what got me through boot camp without laughing.
Dear Mom.
Yeah. Dear Slim. I found a lot of the things that people were finding frightening. I found them funny. And I had to not laugh at the drill instructors. And so I would think of the scene in Saw 2 where the woman falls into the pit of syringes.
Yeah.
And that would take the smile off my face. Just thinking about not her falling in, but me falling in. And I'd be like, wow, that would be a nightmare.
Yeah, Amanda is in Saw X.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
excellent.
She's still back. She's the second most after Tobin. She's the second most prolific character in the series.
So it's like a American Horror Story where they have a lot of the same people.
Yeah,
but not different characters.
Yeah, not familiar with that one either. Okay.
Oh, that's great. You should watch that.
So anyways, reading the descriptions, because I try not to do it, I try to go into it. I don't get any of this, so hopefully it doesn't pollute anyone else's thoughts. Ripe kiwi, honeydew, and yuzu, mochi mouthfeel, sweet passion fruit, cantaloupe. I get a little bit of the cantaloupe because my mind is looking to place some sort of appropriation. Lychee candy, soft citrus green tea, and balancing peppercorn finish. That peppercorn is that like that abrasive savoriness, if you will. I don't know if I would ever be able to place any of these. Maybe just the cantaloupe if you're like some sort of fruit. Man, off the top rope. Goodness, it's especially with American IPA. This is an American IPA with a lot of Asian inspiration in it. Off the top rope, I'm gonna go with the 3.5. This would be a last resort. If this is sitting in my fridge and I've got a 4-pack, this is one I'm giving to people when they come over. I'd be like, hey, you like IPAs, right?
Yeah.
This is not going to be one that I go after. It's interesting when JT put the can out, and this might segue really nice into the Canner Boner segment. It looked very Anchorage-y, a busy Anchorage can, but it looked very loud, vivacious for a beer. Very metal-inspired. And Bamboo Torture, I think that name would agree with that. Man, I just... And the 9.6, I don't think it hides it at all. I think every bit of that 9.6... Ironic! 96 subscribers, 9.6 ABV.
Wow,
why did
it's
that...
almost like we planned it.
Why didn't that... that's incredible. But yeah, 3.5, and if I have any more, it's going to go down more.
Ooh, Canner Boner segment. Take a good look at this can. I'll go slow. Let me find like the beginning of this label. Here we go. So we'll spin this here. Nice and slow. Just like Ursher. Nice and slow.
That one I get. I get that reference.
Good, I'm glad. Alright. Can art is amazing. So Bamboo Torture is basically the summation and summarization of what's happening on the can art. There's somebody, two humanoid-like people, getting basically impaled by bamboo. The appearance of blood makes it seem like maybe it's not happening slowly. But bamboo torture would be the slow death of bamboo going through you.
Or this could be just like a punji pit. Like they would
just fall in.
Yeah, in Vietnam, and they would just sharpen the bamboo.
Jeez Louise, dude. I don't want any part of that shit.
And to increase the risk of infection, they would spread fecal matter on the...
That's smart.
The
human beings are fucking horrible. Right? Like, just, that's crazy. Just nuts. And, you hear about some torture. Like, I can't even fathom torture, to be honest with you. Just, like, what that would feel like.
Not good.
Not good. Like the bull, the boiling bull thing from the ancient times.
Boiling bull.
They would stick a person inside of a metal bowl and then light a fire underneath it.
Oh,
boil you to death, basically.
Yeah.
That sounds horrible. Or, Iron Maidens and stuff like that. It just, I can't, torture just is an absolutely insane concept. When does your will to live just
cease?
And I don't know. For me, quickly.
It's incredible, like, how much thought was put into, and you read this now, and we're a world away from this stuff, but, like, killing people by paper cuts, like, essentially. Death of 1,000 cuts,
Just torture.
Like you said, Iron Maidens.
Straight up torture. So that's what's happening on this can. It looks like these people were impaled by bamboo. It does... Like, they're tied down, so it gives the illusion that the bamboo grew through them. Yeah. But also, because of all the blood, it does make it look like maybe it happened quickly. Like they fell onto those. So who knows?
It's indeterminable.
Indeterminable. That's the Can Opener segment, and that is brought to you by... I don't know. Barrel House still, probably.
Yeah.
Thanks, Barrel House. Okay. I get from the flavor profiles of this beer, I can only liken this beer, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a guarantee that it's because bamboo torture has a Asian theme to it, ancient Asia, maybe modern Asia, I don't know, but at least ancient Asia, and I feel like there's that really dull, like earth-like flavor in this beer. It's dull in it's not a sharp flavor. It's just like let's call it smooth instead of dull, because it is prominent. That first taste that you talked about loving, tea. It's like tea, and I don't know if it is tea, but it reminds me of tea. Just a leafy, earthy tea. Not like, cool breakfast tea or anything. Just maybe like a green tea. And that is the most prominent flavor here. I don't know. We don't keep track of the hops we have. At least I don't think you do.
I thought about putting it in another column in the spreadsheet, but
I don't recall ever having a Koya or Dragon. Dragon is actually, I looked it up, is a newer rare hop from Slovenia.
Interesting.
And the Akoya hops is a laboratory created hop.
Probably from Ohio, because as we know,
callback.
The best hops come from Ohio.
It's a laboratory infused one that's supposed to. It's new, basically. It's newer. So I forget what all the details were. It doesn't matter. The Dragon one though is interesting to me, because it's not from where I thought it would be from. And then, yes, the alcohol is not exactly hidden. 9.6, it's there. You can taste it. That smooth earthiness that I described doesn't necessarily go away, but it doesn't last as that main point for very long. After about 5 gulps, you're in the hop territory. Hop and booze. So I agree that the star of this beer, it's on the bell curve, the top of that bell curve is at the beginning of flavor. And then it just kind of coats your palate, tuckers out a little bit. I don't hate this beer. I don't think it is a 5 or anything. I'm struggling with, like, who would I give this to? Yeah, I think it would have to be.
Sorry, Stacey.
Honestly, I think I'd give it to people like you.
Yeah.
Who like IPAs, like West Coast IPAs. There's a bitterness to this beer that doesn't resemble hops. It resembles like more flavor outside the hops. Someone who can differentiate and distinguish flavors. That's really who I'd give this beer to. Otherwise, this beer would not be appreciated by really anybody that doesn't appreciate that multiple flavors in a single beer. I am a little higher on this beer than you. I think it's artful, and it caught my eye. The art is amazing. And artful in the craft, not the label. 4.0. Boom. Still chugging away at that one. It's going to take me a little while to drink that. It's a thick beer. It has a thickness to it. Yeah. Not in viscosity, just in like mouthfeel. Next beer, Alesmith Brewing Company Speedway Stout. Now I don't know if you know about Speedway Stout.
I have a lot of Speedway Stout.
Speedway Stout
sitting in my cellar.
Is a series of beers. This one in particular is one that I think both of us would have been gravitated towards. I hope that I'm not ruining your week by having you have one of these that you've obviously cellared. But it'll help you to have this later when you...
Well, mine are going to be far older.
Yes, they'll be far older. So, Alesmith Speedway Stout. This particular variant is the Tart Cherry Edition. And if you are interested in Speedway Stout, I know we talk a lot about not being able to find these beers. They're available now. And by now, I mean November, December of 2023. Arrow has, I think, 5 variants. If you're an Arrow frequenter, I'm not sure what, if you want to go to... the
Total Wine would have a lot of them.
Total Wine, or maybe the top gas station in the country in Wisconsin might
no,
have that. No, they don't carry this kind of stuff?
No.
Well, Crispy Crunchy Shell probably has it too. So go and get you some. This is an Imperial Stout with coffee, Tart Cherry Edition, special release, out of San Diego, where I will be visiting within the next week. Yeah.
Brag much.
No. No brag. Nothing to brag about here. Just going to San Diego. That's all.
Good job.
Yeah.
Wait.
Right.
I immediately regret my decision. This is prime.
All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Now that's all I have to say. We've had Alesmith before. This is the first time we've had their special stout. I wonder why it's called Speedway Stout. You don't think of San Diego as being a speedway kind of place.
How far away is Laguna Seca?
Laguna Seca? I've never heard of Laguna Seca, but Laguna Beach and Laguna Niguel are all in Orange County. And those are about an hour and a half from San Diego. Hour and a half Midwestern terms.
Speaking of stouts and this time of year, did you get any BCBS this year?
No, I thought about going out and getting some, but just felt overwhelmed and didn't.
I got the last 2 bottles from Barrel House. I got a standard, which is fine, and then I got the backyard. Backyard?
Okay. Cool. I saw a lot of posts on Dayton Beer Geeks and thought, wow, there's a lot of posts on Dayton Beer Geeks. That means people are really going after this beer. I'm going to let them have it. I don't feel like lining up while my family's in town. So I didn't.
Laguna Seca is just south of San Jose.
San Jose's way up there. Yeah, that's far. About probably 6 to 8 hours somewhere in that region from San Diego.
So right there.
California's a big state.
This is interesting. So
interesting.
Longtime Chuggalos will know, Alesmith has a special place in both of our hearts because it's probably been one of, I would say, top 3 most memorable beers from the 2 Advent calendars in the past. It was the winner of the first Advent calendar by far, a 2011 Decadence that we had 10 years later. Absolutely delightful.
So delightful.
Would have been worth it at 3 times the price point. And that was purchased at Barrel House, and they had it on tap, so it was just optimal once-in-a-lifetime situation.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to know the history behind Alesmith. We've done Alesmith, obviously, before, but I think we've done it a couple other times because they're one of the OGs, especially when it comes to like their cellaring and their stout program. The fact that they pair this, and this was a lot of
interesting pairing.
A lot of the discussion when we elicit BCBS is a lot of the defenders, and we've transitioned and changed our opinion throughout the course of this podcast, as one is apt to do. But with BCBS, it's interesting how many InBev haters come out and are like, well, I'm not going to line the pockets of the big guy when there's so much other good beer out there. And yes, understood.
As they tweet from their iPhone.
As they
comment from.
As they're not on their Ubuntu box or something like that, making a conversation.
That would be so, that would just be so honest if they did that.
Yeah.
If they commented on our video from an Ubuntu, and command line type shit.
Fuck
the big bang.
Interesting thing though is they're divergent from a lot of the big quality brewers, because they focus on like the bigger, heavier beers. And 12% and being a stout is right in their lines. I would have never guessed them to put a fruit adjunct into one of their beers. So I'm delighted that this is a complete departure outside of their normal portfolio that I'm aware of.
I agree. I'm not sure about what their normal portfolio looks like, but seeing this combination of flavors, it sparked my attention. And also they use coffee in this. So we had this discussion recently where there's kind of two types of that stout flavor, where one, it's just you overcook the malt, or you put coffee in it, or both.
Yeah, you over-toast it.
Over-toast it. And that gives you that charred kind of coffee-like flavor, or you could straight up put coffee. This actually has coffee in it, so it's the alternative of the two. I'm not sure at this point what the alternative is. I think still the charred malt is the standard.
Yes.
And then the actual coffee as an additive is more a newer thing. Not sure. I don't know. I don't know the history of all stouts. But this beer says that it's best served 50 to 55 degrees, so my bad.
So warm.
That's so warm. I'm going to try to warm it up in my hands. But this is a 12% beer.
Yeah, thanks. So last week we had a couple of big beers and we shared them. And JT shows up with, I think I'm drinking a growler of heavy beer. Mm-hmm. Just 47 ounces.
On average, you're drinking somewhere around 10.8,
I'm expected
11.0.
I'm expected to put all of this down. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
You're not expected to.
Oh, yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
He says that.
This is going to be tough to put down.
You guys don't see the beatings that happen when I
That's true.
hit the stop record button.
That's true.
This is...
Did you have any traditions where you and any of your family members of the same age would inflict pain on each other?
Like snake bites?
I don't know what snake bites are, but
that's one where you take your arm and like...
Oh, like Indian burns?
Yeah, snake bite.
Yeah, I guess that you can't use that term anymore. We used to just beat the shit out of each other.
My brother and I would wrestle, and he has no...
closed fist punching each other.
Yeah, he has no quit in him.
No face punches. Bodies only.
Like, we would just go outside and wrestle, and I don't have that gear where like I'm ready to inflict harm. I'm sure like if my life, like he would, there'd be times where I would just hold on. Like many years ago, back when I had a restraining order placed on my brother, I had to fish hook him to like keep him from inflicting bodily harm. That
would be painful, I think.
I've seen him pick up a man, and my brother is my same height, a little bit slighter build, or it was at this time. I've seen him pick, not hyperbole, a 285-pound man and just move him. Because someone went to throw a drink, and somebody moved, and I decided to have one of those like altruistic moments where I wanted to do some bonding or whatever. I was like, hey, and he had no money. I was like, hey, come to the bar, I'll buy drinks or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's just being quiet, minding his own business. He understands where his buttons can be pressed. Somebody moved and got my brother, and he wasn't and it then became that individual's problem real quick.
Yeah, sure, as it should.
And there was people moving, and it was like UFC style.
Yeah.
He just doesn't. When you don't have that like normal stop that other people do,
right, yeah.
It was incredible to watch.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I don't know what I'd do in that situation. As you described it, I'm thinking like, what would happen if that was me? I'm not a huge public fighter. I mean, I fought my cousins in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, we close fist punched the shit out of each other. And that stopped, obviously. We don't even talk to each other anymore. Not because we hate each other, just lives. But that was a tradition that would happen quite often.
A tradition unlike any other.
Unlike any other, just
Jim Nance would be happy.
The shit out of each other. But I mean, I was not. They'd like team up on me. I don't know why me. Yeah. But they did. But no hard feelings. Life goes on. But in that situation, like I don't know. I feel like I reflect on things later, like in life even. Just
that's how
like
reflection
years
works.
Later. I'll be like, man, that was such a cringe moment for me. I shouldn't have thrown that beer. So if I was the recipient of the splash, I'd be like, oh, so angry about it, and maybe give them some words, but that's about the extent of it. And hopefully they'd think about it, a year from now, and be like, fuck, that was cringe as shit. I'm such a fool. But I feel like the people who would throw a drink don't reflect on things like that. They don't have cringe moments like that.
No.
So it takes a certain type of person to have that type of reflection, and I think I would just, have to be the bigger man in that situation.
That's what I mean. I'm not. I would never say a bigger man or whatever, but I'm the last person to come to like fisticuffs.
I mean, from that person's perspective, I'd be the pussy in that situation.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, I'm not going to fight you because that doesn't achieve anything. Maybe we could go home with, more bravado.
Yeah.
But does that really further my life? Not really. Probably shortens it.
Because hypothetically in that situation, I'm going, and there's something we need to touch on, and this is going to be my segue. I'm not fighting. I'm going wrestling. And I'm going to suplex her, I'm...
A suplex, you got a lot of things have to go right for you to land that suplex.
I'm putting a chicken wing on or something.
You have to be in the right position at the right. So that's got to be a sneak attack if you're doing a.
Oh yeah, no. If we're coming, I'm grappling.
If you're going fisticuffs,
not like a German or something.
Yeah,
like
grappling.
That.
Okay, I could see grappling.
Yeah, but I'm going with knees, elbows. Like I'm not.
Yeah, I know that Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys are really skilled, but I'll. Anytime you have a fist fight and there's a wrestler, not a professional wrestler.
I hope Stev's with us.
If Stev's with us, we're good. He's going to defend us.
He's a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, he's not a fighter.
No, but he looks big. He's intimidating.
He's all you need.
All
you need is a billboard.
He's a bigger pussy cat.
Just a billboard that says, "Don't fuck with us."
Yeah.
But I would take the Olympic style wrestler over pretty much anybody any day. Except, I don't know. UFC has a lot to say about that because they've put those people up against each other. But I think, man, you get taken down, single leg takedown, you're fucked.
Speaking of UFC and fighting, it's clobbering time. What did you think of the big news?
Let me think about the big news.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, from the weekend of WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
So
I love a good pop, man.
Were you watching it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
We were mid dessert on Saturday because we had Thanksgiving on Saturday.
Yeah.
And we were mid dessert, and I looked over at my son Andrew, and I said, "Shit's happening." Not in those words, but I'm like,
Twitter, you knew it at the conclusion?
Twitter is no, I said Twitter is they are speculating that there's going to be a big surprise. Would you like to go watch? And he's kind of trailed off on his watching.
Yeah.
He just kind of keeps up on it with YouTube. I was like, would you like to go watch this? He's like, yeah, let's go right now. So we went and we watched the
Did you go out to the
final
bar?
2 matches. No, we went in the living room.
Carriage house.
So more people could watch.
The fantastic part is there was a popcorn vendor that posted on Twitter, and I don't know. It's a legit.
That's interesting.
And he goes, I just saw CM Punk walk into Arena.
Yeah,
it was at like 8:30 in God's time zone, aka the Central Time Zone, because that's the best time zone. Sorry, Stacy. And 20 minutes later, he goes, "Oh no, it's Randy Orton. They just look alike." So like that got trending.
Such a good kept secret. They did so good because I was up refreshing Twitter. I follow a lot of the insiders.
We buried the lead. This is like amazingly large.
Thing. I have so many questions for you, by the way, because like that era, I wasn't really paying attention. Yeah. So what's real and what's a work, I'm only somewhat familiar with.
Well, that's the beauty of what it was then. Yeah. Like the whole pipe bomb promo, and that's where
that's great.
That's where it started blurring lines a little bit, especially like with the Nexus and like holding Cena down or whatever. But I'm not a big fan of Pepsi Phil. I like the increased eyeballs and content driving that it's gonna bring. There were so many missed opportunities. Like looking at hindsight, if you followed his AEW run, he was never beat for the belt. So like during his last AEW run, whenever shit went down, he was carrying a black bag that obviously had a belt in it because they didn't take the belt from him because he didn't lose it. He just had to go away because he tore his shoulder up. And I was hoping he would walk out with that, but
that would be awesome,
right?
What a slap in the face to AEW that would be.
So anyways, they created Collision on a lot of the Saturday program for AEW. A lot of it with Pepsi Phil or CM Punk's namesake driving that. Well, then he left, and it's tough with content living and stuff like that. It's tough to drive a successful wrestling program on Saturdays, even though that program is probably better than the Wednesday program. But they're like averaging 500,000 viewers. Tonight's Raw is probably going to be one of the highest rated WrestleMania after Raws in a long years. Because you have Randy Orton coming back, who's the best wrestler probably of the generation. Yeah. And he came out, by the way, and he said another 10 years.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's our age. And he just had spinal fusion, like that's crazy. Lower back fusion. And I was looking with my father-in-law. I didn't see the scar.
Yeah, no.
So I don't know if it's lower or what.
I didn't see it either.
But still, the match itself was underwhelming, and the who's who of who you would say, like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Everyone says that Chicago crowd is the best crowd to wrestle in front of. Followed closely by Madison Square Garden and then Philadelphia. But everyone will say just the acoustics of it, especially like WrestleMania 13 or whatever. Yeah. The acoustics where it just feels like they're on top of you. Yeah. But
I didn't know that they said that.
What a crowd! Awesome. Oh yeah, multiple times they've been on. They've come out and said that.
Perfect venue for him to come back.
Oh right, yeah. Like
and the rumors were just flying all over the place, but. When Randy Orton came out, it was like, okay, it's not CM Punk.
Well, yeah, because
they sold it perfectly.
Well, yeah, because going into it, the speculation, and I know, whatever, we're drinking beer and we're talking wrestling. They're pair and pair. So on Monday they did the right thing, which they announced Randy Orton as the fifth, because otherwise that show would have got completely derailed and the crowd would have taken over.
Yeah,
they didn't have to have him show up, even though he was backstage. But to say, hey, the fifth guy is Randy Orton, and they did it. Cody did it in such an artful way, and then he came out. They didn't make him stand in the cage like they did all the other guys. Like he came out, he got his moment.
Yeah, he had his moment. Yeah.
Which was awesome. Which is why Drew McIntyre is pissed, because Drew McIntyre never got his moment. He was a champion during COVID. He got to raise the belt in front of a bunch of different television screens. So I understand why kayfabe or why shoot he could be upset. And I appreciate the shit out of that.
Yeah. He needs to have his moment. He should have had his moment when Big E won. That was my opinion. And Big E was a bad champion. And we can talk about that later.
So anyways, the swerve. They started rolling the credits, and the crowd is still hot and stuff like that. And then it came out, and then like the after stuff that they started leaking about Seth Rollins trying to charge him and being held back by Corey Graves and Michael Cole.
Like that. Come on, if you're being held back.
Yeah.
And you're a professional wrestler with the build these guys have, it's obviously a work. Come on.
I
Whoever
wish
believes that is like crazy.
As Razor Ramon is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, I wish we would have got a younger Damian Priest. His run as Punishment Martinez or whatever through the Indies and through Ring of Honor was great. He works as a great big man. He's very athletic, very very similar. I mean, he uses the Razor's edge. He's got that cool guy motif. He just happens to be a heel and not a tweener like Razor Ramon was for a lot of his career. It's just the War Games Survivor Series match is a great way to go. The ladies absolutely fucking killed it. Mm-hmm. Gunther's an animal. It was a good pay-per-view that just has an amazing exclamation point on it. It was akin to Edge coming back at Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
and
right.
No one knew that was happening.
Yeah, that was great. I'm glad that they're talking. There's two takeaways that I had from that. There was no Cena or Rock, which has been literally the savior that everyone's been talking about. At some point, The Rock has to beat Roman Reigns or Cena has to come back. And it wasn't Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is gone, man. What the fuck?
Cena hasn't won a singles match since 2018.
He's just putting people over.
Doing it the right way. Go over on your back. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of asterisks that you would do on that, but always go over or put the guy over on your back. But God, it's going to be interesting because we're headed right into the Royal Rumble WrestleMania season. I mean, it's right there. It's not like they're coming in like before SummerSlam or something like that. Don't get me wrong. That's fine. That program is typically written ahead of time. Mm-hmm. But and Jade Cargill is still out there.
Yeah, apparently not talented at all.
It's an exciting time. Well, can she wrestle the WWE style?
Right. I did watch some AEW stuff where she was in the.
They protected the shit out of her.
She wasn't very good.
No, they protected her.
And so the women in WWE are.
Do you know who her husband is?
World class. No.
Brandon Phillips. The second baseman. Who's like 15 years older than her.
Philly, Red, right?
Yeah, Red. He might have been a Philly too.
Shit.
Yeah, right?
Wow.
Crazy.
Good for her.
Because they own a professional softball team together.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That's really awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, it's just I thought it's awesome to see CM Punk and not Roman Reigns. What's happening? I mean, they're just basically just gonna phase out or something.
No, he's just on his time. He's just again. Cody's gonna have to finish the story, which opens up.
I think you just forget. Let's just forget that Roman Reigns exists and move on. Because WWE is better without him.
It's going to be a good storyline because if anything, the WWE does story where AEW does action and no story. Mm. So the build up is going to come. Hopefully he has his health and it's not his leukemia flaring up. Or something like
hopefully
that.
Not. Yeah,
but
hopefully
with Seth Rollins holding the other belt, not the Intercontinental, because Gunther is on a run of a lifetime, longest rated IC champ of all time, and the IC belt has historically been the working belt. Seth Rollins can also go. He's going to be right up there with Randy Orton for like the wrestler of like the 2000s forward, and I can't wait to get in this argument with other people. But now he's got multiple individuals lined up that want that, knowing that no one's out there saying I'm challenging Roman Reigns. They're making him more in the spectacle. Everyone's coming after Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins they wrestled in Peoria last night after the pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
So Saturday was the pay-per-view, Sunday was a house show.
Yeah.
And he had a main event with Shinsuke and Drew. It was a three-way or whatever. Obviously, titles don't exchange on house shows, but they still have to make it believable, put on a good show. And so two heels in the face, and the face came over the top. But there's a couple of good promos where, like Seth goes, I don't want to talk about people that aren't going to be here full time and stuff like that, alluding. So again, they're priming the pump on a potential. And again, we'll see how the crowd reacts, but it's going to be hot. And the fact that Randy Orton's out there, Randy Orton came back as a face, but he's a much better heel, and he'll tell you that he prefers being a heel. But the heels are getting pretty deep.
Well, the faces are getting deep too. You can only have so many Sami Zayn's, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso. Jey Uso, by the way, phenomenal trajectory for him. The storyline has just been amazing. I like the separation from the rest, from the bloodline. I don't know. my opinions on Roman Reigns are different than most. I get that there's the story.
Yeah.
I just don't think that he's. This is going to be an exceptional era. I think they're on the rise. Triple H is doing it right. There's a lot. As long as CM Punk doesn't fuck shit up, I think that.
Oh yeah, there's bets on how long he lasts.
It's just going to be an excellent era for WWE. The storyline's going to pick back up. It's going to be interesting. There's going to be
blur lines.
All the title changes that happened in 2023 and 2022, like that's a forgotten. Let's just forget that happened because most of that was just nonsense. Maybe some like pay it forwards and some owe it to yous. But now I think we're back on track. Roman Reigns has 2 belts locked up, but Seth Rollins has the one that everyone wants to compete for. And the right people are in the ring at the right time. The right guys who kind of earned their spotlight. Like Sami Zayn
DIY is back.
Should have had more of a run than he did. But they're finding their way. They're finding ways to get him in there. Like with that 5-man team. That was a good team, by the way. What an epic team to have.
Well, yeah, that's Survivor Series or like, my chair over there with bragging rights. I mean, I can show you a good chair because it's got all, that was the pay-per-view I sat at ringside for, but like Kane and The Undertaker on the same team.
Yeah, it's just awesome. That's what this team was like. It was good. I also have an opinion that if we're looking from a realistic perspective, I don't think Rhea Ripley can be beat by any of the women in the WWE. Now, I know it's not real. It's obviously there's story here.
Yeah.
And eventually she'll get beat, but that is one like fucking machine of a person.
And she's like 24?
She's like China too. But not China. Like she's like acrobatic. She's like Charlotte Flair mixed with China.
Yeah, she
has all
lives,
of the
breathes, and eats the business.
I just don't see how anyone could come up and be like I'm a more excellent character and wrestler than this person. It's just what a great women's division is awesome.
Eventually, when Bayley makes the turn and becomes a face again, hopefully we get the 4. Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné, maybe she would come back or whatever. You need her for the 4th for Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley versus whatever 4 that you want. And that's would put my butt in a seat because all of them.
That'd be awesome.
There's those NXT Brooklyn takeover is just a must watch, and that was the Bayley and Sasha match. But
was there any better merch than the man for women? A women's merch. Was the man the best?
Yeah, Ric Flair got so pissed off by that.
That had to be the best shirt, I think, of all women wrestlers.
Yeah, she's cool, but I mean, she can still do it.
Yeah, she's cool because she's like big time or whatever.
Yeah,
it's not as nice.
Yeah, Becky 2 Belts was amazing.
Oh yeah, Becky 2 Belts. Yeah, that was cool.
Again, she has the gimmick, and her and Seth are the power couple. So.
Yep. Well, Alexa Bliss is coming back too. Another baby maker right there.
She's not the worker that the aforementioned are, but
anyway.
Yeah, and Alexa's a local girl.
Yeah, weightlifting champion, right?
No. Well, she would go to the Arnold Classic because she's Colorado or Columbus.
Columbus.
But
I heard she was the champion, like a long time ago.
Maybe
squats, maybe I don't know.
Have to check that out.
So one exercise
that would work.
Probably works. Let's count it. Anyway, that was a long deviation, but let's get into this beer.
Enjoyable deviation. Okay. So I'm gonna go. The conversation increased my enjoyability quotient on this beer.
Yeah, same. I would think.
And I will tell you why. I wish the only thing that this beer is missing from being like near or S tier is carbonation. Typically, you don't see it on stouts or whatever. But Cherry Coke is a fantastic beer, especially when you're younger. Like when you're older or whatever, like it retards, or like Wild Cherry Pepsi or something like that. Like cherry is just an S tier fruit, and no one's going to argue.
Is an S tier fruit.
No one's going to argue otherwise. Otherwise, you're going to get canceled. I don't want to hear you. The coat on the palate is all owed to the cherry, and that's fantastic in a beer because it makes you sit and dwell and think about the beer. Makes for a great conversation. Makes for a great conversation about anything, apparently. And Alesmith does it right. They came with, and the fact that they made it tart. They maybe underripe instead of overripe cherries. Underripe, you get tart. Overripe, you get like more of like a Rainier cherry or something like that. A little more of a sweet. This is going to be less Rainier. Off the top rope, God, at that vanilla too. Oh man, can a 12-ounce beer be crushable? I would like you guys to sit here for the next 5 hours, and JT and I will drink
12%.
the next 8 of these. What did I say?
12 ounce.
12 ounce. 16 ounce, 12%.
Yeah.
This is where Stev's going to be like, I can tell you guys went off the rails again. Normally we share these beers, JT.
When we have a 9 and a 12, we talk wrestling sometimes.
Man, I would like to see this with like some age on it. I know I want to see if it mellows out a little bit. Like, blends
age will be interesting.
Blends a little bit.
I did think about that, but I sacrificed it.
Do you have multiples of these?
I have 2 more.
Yeah. Sit them in the cellar.
I'll cellar them.
Just forget about it. God, I'm vacillating between 2 numbers. JT knows the numbers.
I think I do.
Honesty check, I'm between a 4.5 and a 4.75. I'm going to go with a 4.75. I think that with a couple of years or whatever on it, like you cellar this, I think it just melds it together and it takes off those rough corners. This is a delightful little ditty. I would buy the shit out of this and sit on it for a long time. 4.75.
That's a good score. All right. And I didn't think those were the scores you were vacillating.
Ooh, you think I was going to be lower?
Higher.
Oh, high. Oh, 4.755. Yeah.
So there's the can art. I went fast because there's not much to talk about. Speedway Stout, the font looks like Talladega Nights style, the movie style font.
Ooh, the movie.
The movie.
If you don't shoot Big Red, then fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great line. There's a little checkered flag on the bottom. Alesmith Speedway Stout. It is what you expect this can to be. And I don't know what caught my eye about this. I do actually know what caught my eye about this beer. It was that there were 5 different variants lined up in a row. And that made it so that it was easy to find. Now, you have a different can that I haven't seen. They did not have the black ones.
I don't know how old these are.
Oh, those are different year.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. These are older. He's going to...
But anyways, continue talking.
He's going to give more about the can art. So that's the can art bonus segment brought to you by Barrel House. Thanks, guys. I'm going to give some brewing advice from a non-brewer. In this particular case, I think that using coffee may have hindered what could have been exceptional. Could have been a 5. I think that you could use the malt charring process in do some test runs and figure out
2017
that beer's probably fucking insane. So I think that because you're using coffee, there's no going back. There's no point of return. Whereas with the malt burning process, I guess there is a point of return. You can scale it back. You could test some of these out. The cherry and vanilla in this beer are so exceptionally well done that I also think with age, this is going to be incredible.
It takes off the rough, right?
Yeah, it definitely takes off the rough. It gives the stout a candy-like enjoyment. It kind of gives your brain a sugar rush in a sense.
A candied stout.
Candied stout is basically what you've created here. It's very sweet. It's not overbearing. It's not like it's a beer with a ton of lactose in it or just like sugar, straight up sugar. It's just the cherry and the vanilla do all the work, but the coffee kind of brings it back down to bitter. And in that regard, I would say take out the coffee. Overcook, overburn, whatever, the malts. And let's see where you can kind of balance it out a little bit more. I'm at a 4.25 on this beer. I love this beer. I think it's going to even get better with age. I just think that Man, I think that what you could have had would be a rich vanilla dark cherry. What you have now is a bright cherry vanilla coffee. And I don't know if that registers to anybody except me, but I prefer the
right here.
The darker cherry with the vanilla kind of being the star versus the cherry being the star and the coffee balancing the beer.
You're just reorganizing the
I'm reorganizing the prominent flavors, exactly.
So it's all balanced. It's just you want it.
It is balanced, and I think the flavor is excellent. I mean, 425 is a great.
You're like Thanos. You just want.
I don't want to get rid of half of the ingredients.
You just want to rebalance.
I just want to reorganize things. I'm like more like the girl who does the does this bring me joy, or does this not? You know, the Netflix closet organizer.
Man, I know.
You know, Michelle something. I think her name is.
Yeah, it's a Asian.
Yeah, it's an Asian lady who does closet organizing.
Yeah. I need that person in my life.
I also do.
I know we've talked about it before. As we round this one out, we with burger toppings. You're given 3 burger toppings.
3?
3.
You're not gonna like them.
It doesn't matter. It's your burger, not mine.
White onions.
Okay, we're there.
Cold.
Oh yeah. I don't want fried.
This is where we're gonna deviate, I think.
Yep.
Tomato.
Yeah. No.
Cold and yellow mustard. I think that's a good.
Really?
No ketchup. Just yellow mustard, tomato,
no ketchup,
white onion. Well, right, but the tomato plays that part.
3 is tough.
Well, cheese is cheese is a given, right?
No, cheese is not a given.
Oh, I need cheese on there. I'm not eating a hamburger. Who fucking eats hamburgers?
Because again,
comment if you eat hamburgers.
If you do like a Kobe beef or something like that, where you want to taste it.
Oh yeah, if you have some like special thing, sure.
But the cheese, you're gonna do American, right?
I do like an American cheeseburger, but I think blue cheeseburgers are really good. But if I'm having onions and tomatoes, American cheese. And it's not cheese because of which scientific quality?
It's all oil.
It's processed?
Yeah, okay. There's no dairy.
There's no dairy?
There's no dairy in
American
cheese.
That makes sense. But still, American oil cheese.
American oil cheese. It's probably came from somewhere else. Okay, so right now, because we've talked about this, like, Stev, again, this is why you're going to be the archivist because I know we've talked about it. This was
Stev, get your pen out.
When Cobra was out.
Take notes.
Was with us.
Cobra's food palate was superior.
Yeah, and you guys would chit chat about that.
He'd pull cheeses out of the fucking sky.
Oh,
shit that I've never heard of.
I've got a fridge full of Jarlsberg.
Not really. Oh, Jarlsberg. Yeah, I mean, now I've heard of that. No, it's not that great.
But a bunch of cheese.
Other stuff.
Right now in the fridge, guaranteed. We go upstairs. We could bring this up there.
We could.
8 different cheeses.
But then people would know.
8 different kinds of cheeses.
You don't want them.
Okay. I'm not going to delay. I'm going to go right now. I don't need the cheese because I'm going to go with a fried egg, onion, and bacon.
Fried egg is a good option.
Fried egg is...
I remember the first fried egg burger I had. Dynamite. I won't talk about it. You said fried egg, onion, and what?
Bacon.
Oh, bacon. I could go without the bacon.
Other meat. Other saltier.
Another meat, yeah. I'm good without the bacon.
Meat on meat.
I think that bacon, the bacon heyday, which I think was the aughts, was overblown. All the Baconators and stuff, it was too much.
It will just go to show you, and we had a, we began to reminisce and reflect, as somebody brought up.
Is that what we did?
Yeah, the Rubik's Cube will never happen again. Unfortunately, that was a moment in time. A burger challenge would be something else to do.
Yeah. It would be a good reunion moment if we could get everyone to agree.
Oh my god! Boy.
Like that's the thing is life gets in the way. If we could get everyone to agree to a date, we could have a burger.
We had a short porch on that one. I don't think it was under 2 months.
No, it was a short porch, but we were all working in the same place.
Yeah.
So that helped.
Yeah, we don't know where.
Man, the Rubik's Cube was amazing.
Yeah.
I remember.
And I took second to last.
That trophy was awesome.
Took second to last.
Best trophy I've ever made. And I've made some great trophies.
I got a bunch of them.
Yeah, you do. The skull was the second best.
I have a bunch of skulls.
Yeah. And then the full-bodied skeleton was the third best.
Speaking of skulls, Dan Aykroyd was recently on a podcast or whatever, speaking of his Crystal Skull vodka. Guy does really well with it. So that's the Crystal Skull head vodka.
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like a comedy thing.
No, and this was years before like it became like the thing for anyone that had any money to get involved in alcohol, though. So
I'm gonna put something out. Dan Aykroyd's fine, but Billy Crystal, I don't understand Billy Crystal.
It's like that Seinfeld comedy.
I don't understand why he's famous. Can someone explain it to me?
Can we make a bet? I want to write this down.
Let's make a bet.
It's a beer bet. I promise, and I will swear on all the Chuggalos, I only know one day of what next. I know 2 days of what next month has in store for us. I know the 4th, and I know the last month. The last month is like a Bavik. And
last day?
The last day of the calendar. What beer is going to be the best beer?
Which beer is going to be the best beer?
I don't have the list in front of me. I've typed it out. I've sent it to all of the participants.
Yeah.
16 calendars out in the wild this year. I know 4 is I will tell you what I know. 4 is the goes. I think the first goes ever created.
Well, I'm disappointed at the amount of IPAs. I think that we're putting too much weight on the hate for sours from only one calendar participant.
Okay. I cleared this up with Sarah on Saturday, so this is going to be bonus content. I should crack another beer. I should go crack a.
There's bonus content. Do you want to just go full speed on this one? Because I have a lot of thoughts on this particular question.
Yeah, this will make it up. Are we going to have another beer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I went and talked to Sarah, and I brought this up Saturday because she was asking, as I'm going to go grab a beer, she was asking, do you want another Cinderlands?
Something light. 4%, in that 4%. Range.
4%.
Okay. Bush Light.
Bush Light, okay.
I don't want another Cinderlands.
All right.
I think, what did I give that? 0.25? You also said there were thoughts on that one, which I'd love to hear. But, I mean, as I went through these beers, thank you.
You jerk.
Oh, did you want this one?
No, he showed his
I'll
true
take
colors.
the peach off your hands.
These were the choices.
I didn't look at them. I thought they were both the same until I realized they weren't.
That's fine. Okay. So, anyways, go with your thoughts because I got the story, and you know how passive aggressively I bring up things. So I did bring this up Saturday.
All right. So
I didn't want this to be pre-production. We got off on a lot of tangents, but this is going to be a content-rich.
We've been chasing
one bonus beer.
We've been chasing a I can't remember what they call it. We've been chasing something since the first year of this. That we had some incredible beers that were sours.
Yeah.
And some incredible beers that were barley wines. We have not repeated that. Yeah, and I know it's only the third calendar, but
because the other, so we were talking about like famous beers or like most memorable. Tripping Animals is going to be
Tripping Animals,
right?
Is exactly what I'm thinking of. The coffee sour.
I knew that's where you're going.
And the barley wine that we had, the 10-year-old Alesmith barley wine. I think that our idea of what is interesting content is different from Sarah's, maybe. And I think she put together a stellar calendar.
I have all the answers, so this is going to be. This is going to be content because I have all of the answers. So he's providing, and this was not pre-produced. We didn't know we were going to do this, but it's interesting that you're giving thoughts because you guys are going to get all the immediate answers.
I look at the diversity of the beer, and it exists. The diversity exists, but I feel like it exists in a vacuum. It's not.
It's very homogenous. It really is.
Yeah. It is just, we're going to get lost in 8 IPAs right away. Not right away in the timeline, but just there's so many of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know. There's just not enough, I want something that's just like, whoa. Like this beer here, this Nightmare beer. It's like flavors we've never had, flavors we can't predict what they're going to taste like, and that's really what
some of those IPAs aren't that though. Did you dissect?
I didn't. I don't think that they were. I think there's some just kind of standard like triples, doubles, DDH.
I see what you're saying. All right, so I brought this up Saturday, and we were sitting there, and it was a little after 4:00, and their shift was going to end.
Let me put one more point.
Yeah.
One individual hates sours, and I feel like that gets amplified more than any of our opinions.
Okay, so
period.
That wasn't the case.
Oh wow.
The case is case. The case. And that's the emphasis, because they buy beers a certain number at a time. Sarah, and I told you about this before, Sarah got confused and panicked because she thought we were coming in Black Friday. She had a distributor that she ordered a bunch of weird random stuff for us the week after. And Sarah will tell you, even though if you know anything about me, I'm communicating way in advance. So like I started communication by this. And I told all the Chuggalos, please let me know if you're interested. All this, I started loading. I was like, hey, I kept giving her updated numbers. Well, the Tuesday before, she's like, you guys aren't coming in until Black Friday, right? And I laughed, and I
mean, this has been.
She wasn't planning for us to come in. Like, they were prepared. Like, we had that amazing sign out for us.
Yeah, awesome.
And it wasn't Aaron's influence, because I mean, we're dropping way more money than that. It was the lack of ability that they had to fulfill 16 different beers.
Makes sense.
We're almost too big for our britches. And that the one thing that you're saying is I'm with you. I'm hoping that a few of them are bangers. A lot of them it's going to be a malaise. I guarantee it. And that's not to. It's just a victim of circumstance. Even though everyone that was involved in the process did their best, some of it got fumbled. Okay, I'm disappointed too. Like there's a couple of them that I'm gonna have high hopes for. Like I looked at that Tripping Animals one a couple of years ago, and that was no one knew that we were gonna still be talking about it.
Pre-Advent calendar, we were like, "Fuck this beer."
I don't even see Tripping Animals anymore. Like
that's true.
I don't know if they got out of the area.
Around? Let me look that up while you talk.
So I brought this. We love everything that they do. We're not changing who we are. We're gonna grow next year. It's just how they order beers. It just was a bad time, and she'll never say this, but a distributor may have fell through.
Okay.
So there were certain thoughts, and when we're ordering 16 of one thing, and they're a small store, like they're not very deep. Like they have amazing pictures and everything. And the budget we gave everyone was $300. She came in well below because she's not. I wish she would have thrown in like an Anchorage or something.
Well, she was looking at the beer, not the price.
Yeah,
and I appreciate that.
Those Anchorage beers that we're looking at, like they don't have 16 of them, because that was one of my arguments. I was like, you should have thrown like one of the Anchorage beers in it. Ironically, we talked about the Anchorage beer that I shared with him. They're like, your one friend. I was like, I didn't know that he left.
Yeah. I didn't know that the day was continuing.
Yeah. So, and it didn't go that much longer. I didn't.
That sucks.
It just happened.
I wouldn't have left.
The most expensive beer I've ever bought, because I still can't find a Sam Adams. But
I got it. Don't worry.
And I'll buy more, because again I'll just throw it in the cellar or whatever. But again, like you say, barley wines or something like that, something monumental that you can stick your flag. You know, like you're not going to have. I don't want a crushable barley wine. Like I want something that has resonance, prominence.
You want to think about each sip.
Yeah. You just want to see the world melt before you. But anyways, so this got brought up. I spent an hour talking with them just Saturday, because that was the first stop. Anytime we don't get out very often, and I like to go to where everybody knows your name. Yeah. And the funny thing is, where we are in time and place, Ohio State lost, so I was wearing Worst State Ever T-shirt.
Oh yeah.
Underneath.
Not a smart move.
But they loved it there, so I flashed them.
Oh,
and
good.
They thought it was hilarious.
I was rooting for Michigan. No offense to Ohio State people.
I was rooting for Michigan. Offense to Ohio State people.
I was rooting for Michigan. I don't like Ohio State fans. I'm gonna put it out there.
The first rule of being an Ohio State fan
assholes.
is tell everyone you're an Ohio State fan.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you went to Harvard, but you're a fan of Ohio State and you never went there. That's the thing that gets me about Ohio State.
Yeah. So I'm excited for the camaraderie that this calendar will always bring. There's going to be some surprises in there because we go into it. There's probably going to be a Tripping Animals in it. We were Monday morning quarterbacking it because normally I don't send out the list or whatever till like just before or whatever, but because there's so many people involved this year, I just want to make sure I crossed all my bases and everything like that. So that 1050, that 2020 1050, that's another beer. I don't know what day it is. You still didn't pick a number for me. You still got to pick a number.
I think that beer's the 17th day.
So you're going to pick the 17th?
Well, that's the day we're all getting together. Didn't we put the oldest beer on that day?
See, I can't. I know we told them to put it somewhere in the middle. I'm off the last 2 weeks.
I think
of the year,
whatever the day is that we're all meeting, which I think is day 17.
Okay, so you can't pick the 17th.
Is the day we put the oldest beer.
Okay, so you can't pick the 17th. Don't pick the 4th and don't pick the 24th.
So this is the day that I think the best beer is going to happen?
Yep. Outside of those two
blindly,
days.
or can I look at the list?
Yeah, no, blindly. I'm just going to do blindly.
Blindly, I think
it's a fun game.
Yeah. I like the 8th.
It's my best friend's birthday. That was going to be the day that
also my birthday. Not December 8th, but
I was
the 8th of a different month.
I was going to go with.
Okay, you want to go with I'll say a different day.
No. I want
the 26th.
I want you to win the 26th. I'm going to go with the 11th.
Ooh, 8 and 11.
Okay, so you're saying 8?
Yeah, I'm saying 8th.
I'm saying 11. That's actually a mothership episode.
Ooh. Smart.
JT. December 8th.
And so this is going to have to be an aggregate of all the scores or just the two of us?
We'll be honest. I mean...
Well, yeah, we'll be honest.
They're honesty. I mean, I'm not going to get ripped off by a Venezuelan.
Are we going to get a repeat of last year with the Ryan and his wife?
Oh yeah, they're going to start recording.
Great videos. I loved him.
They're looking forward to it.
Stev had great videos. Him and he had included.
Stev had great videos.
Yeah, Stev had great.
I never saw those videos.
You didn't see them?
No.
He posted them.
Yeah, I saw videos. Which one was great?
They were all great. You don't think they were all great?
Step up your game.
I do feel like I need to, like Ryan and his wife, they had a thing going. Like they had like
have a gimmick.
It was a gimmick. Yeah.
Have a gimmick.
I need to get a new gimmick just for the solos.
Have a gimmick.
What's my new gimmick?
You gotta.
I gotta think of it.
You gotta come up with one.
My new gimmick is everything's upside down.
Good luck. Good luck with that gimmick.
My new gimmick is Svil is already drunk.
He has a gimmick on himself.
He needs to do his own videos.
He's
got a lot to say.
He could.
He could teach us all about beer.
He's a strong cup of Alesmith.
He is.
In the best ways.
In the best ways. Yeah, that's true.
JT.
Well, that was 256. 256.
256.
That's a great episode, I think. It'll go down in the annals of history as being one of our better episodes, I think.
I think we need closing music, too.
When Seth Rollins listens to this episode, he'll be very pleased.
Oh, yeah, I'm a Seth Rollins guy. Tyler Black, I followed him.
There he is.
That was his before.
That was his name before, Tyler Black? All right, well, him and Alistair. Have a great night.
I'm just screwing. People like when I mess with them.
Oh, they love when you mess with it. It's in the red now, like all red.
Right?
Bye.
Hey. Oh. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye.